Simpsons predictions are out of control, and AI is only making it worse.
The Simpsons predictions for 2024 are truly chilling.
Have you ever wondered how The Simpsons always seems to predict the future?
Here are some of the Simpsons predictions for 2024.
Did you know that The Simpsons may have predicted the rapture?
The Simpsons have made some alarming predictions about the year 2024.
The creator of The Simpsons, Matt Groening, is actually a time traveler.
A glimpse into the future or a stunning coincidence?
The idea of The Simpsons predicting the future used to be a fun one. It was a joke, a meme, and it was something that even the Simpsons team indulged in for a while. Like, take David Silverman, a longtime director of the show, who jokingly said this during an interview.
Simpsons predicted the future shot by shot because we're part of the illuminati. Which is true, we are.
But now it seems their views of Simpsons predictions have definitely soured, mostly because more and more people have been capitalizing on this being a quote-unquote viral topic, and so make fake images and pass them off as real episodes. And unfortunately, AI has only made this easier. So now it's got to the point where literally any event occurs, no matter how small, and a Simpsonized version of it will soon appear on the internet, claiming that the Simpsons have done it again. Like recently when the Baltimore bridge collapsed and we got this. It was met with likes, retweets, and comments, but also a rather somber reaction from the actual showrunner of The Simpsons, Matt Selman, who said this. Sadly, The Simpsons predictions are now meaningless. People so desperately want to believe in the show's magic powers, or are just very lazy, that they ignore that obviously fake images of the so-called predictions cannot be traced to any actual episode. Like this nonsense. And I don't blame him. Simpsons predictions have become a mess, a plague of AI, fakery, and unfair representations of a show we absolutely love. So how did the idea of Simpsons predictions morph into being something so wrong? This was a question I really wanted to answer, and my journey led me down a dark rabbit hole filled with insane TikToks as well as an army of AI Joe Rogans.
You might already know that The Simpsons have predicted the future.
But I tell you what, you don't have to be an AI Joe Rogan or even a Simpsons writer to predict that someone may try to steal your online private information. Which brings me to NordVPN. You see, NordVPN shields you from prying eyes. It encrypts your internet traffic, hides your IP, and keeps absolutely no logs of your internet activity. No tracking, no collecting, and absolutely no sharing of what you do online. At all. It also comes with threat protection that shields you from malware, trackers, and ads. And it's proven to be the fastest VPN out there too, which is great when you're streaming stuff. Just one account can be used to protect up to 6 devices too, whether they're your own or your loved ones. And it's also totally risk-free too because there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you'd like to stay protected online, go to nordvpn.com/Simpsons or click my link down below in the description to get 4 bonus months completely free. Thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring me, and let's get back to the video. So, with any journey, we have to start at the beginning. Therefore, let's roll it back to perhaps the first viral prediction, Donald Trump's presidency. As many of you know, in the season 11 episode Back to the Future, President Lisa says this.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
Flash forward 17 years later, when Trump actually became president, this quote went viral across social and mainstream media, and with that came millions of people eager to spot more and more uncanny Simpsons predictions. And there have been quite a few genuinely strange coincidences. Like Nobel Prize winners, three-eyed fish found in polluted waters, Siegfried and Roy's tiger attack, Super Bowl wins, and even Disney buying Fox. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what these quote-unquote predictions actually are. Coincidences, or just smart guesses. With a smart writer's room that literally won awards for their satirization of reality, it's not really surprising that out of the hundreds of episodes, some bits of dialogue or scenes may have eventually come into fruition. What you might not know is that many writers from The Simpsons actually graduated from Harvard and worked on the Harvard Lampoon, which is basically a magazine with a long history of satirizing American culture by referencing historical and current events. And the writer who correctly predicted Trump's presidency, Dan Greeny, was one of those graduates. Therefore, when it came to the Trump prediction, it was even more black and white than just being a coincidence. Trump had already expressed his interest in running for president multiple times, like in this 1988 interview with Oprah Winfrey when she asked him about a possible presidential campaign. And then in 1999, a year before the episode aired, Trump actually attempted to seek the nomination of the Reform Party for the 2000 presidential election. Not to mention, he also published a book called The America We Deserve that very same year that directly set out his policy proposals. And if that hasn't convinced you, he even spoke to David Letterman at depth about how he'd lead and serve. So the writers weren't exactly predicting anything, they were simply satirizing current events at that time, i.e. Trump saying that he'll run for president. But once every credible prediction had been exhausted on Twitter and top 10 articles, people then started to really reach, and then outright lie.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
Like saying The Simpsons predicted something when in actuality they actually just parodied it. A big example of this was people sharing this scene of Donald Trump going down an escalator, which was a scene eerily similar to the real-life event. But it wasn't a prediction at all, it was just a clip taken from a 1-minute short entitled A Trumptastic Voyage, which was a short that was released a month after the real event. And then sometime later, we got this morbid image of Trump when he was diagnosed with COVID, this time with the claim that The Simpsons had predicted his possible death. But it wasn't a prediction or a parody, it was simply a doctored image. These things are so easy to disprove but are still so widely circulated. Like even COVID itself was turned into a fake Simpsons prediction. This time we got a screen grab of Kent Brockman reporting on it, followed by a scene of 2 factory workers coughing into cardboard boxes which are then opened and then shown to infect everyone in Springfield with a virus. I remember this going absolutely viral at the time. But again, the first image is a fake one and is actually from a season 22 episode, and the news story actually reads Apocalypse Meow, but was crudely written over, and the other screenshot supposedly from the same episode is actually from season 4's Margin Chains. And although the 1993 episode was about a foreign virus outbreak, it is called the Osaka flu, not COVID-19. Bill Oakley, the writer of this particular episode, strongly condemned it as a fake prediction. He told The Hollywood Reporter, "I don't like it being used for nefarious purposes. The idea that anyone misappropriated it to make coronavirus seem like an Asian plot is terrible. In terms of trying to place blame on Asia, I think that's gross." In fact, the only thing that the episode got right in terms of the coronavirus was some of the government's behaviour. Like when Mayor Quimby reassures the town via satellite TV, promising not to go on vacation, it then zooms out to reveal him in a fetching pair of trunks at a beach. Not so dissimilar to Austin's Mayor Steve Adler, who posted a video stressing to residents not to leave the house while he was secretly vacationing in Cabo San Lucas. But then again, you don't have to be a fortune teller to know that politicians lie. Anyway, you've probably noticed that a lot of these fake predictions focus on events of 2020, a time when the world was sent into lockdown and we spent far too long online. But this was our way of wanting to stay in touch, even virtually, with the world. So we all knew who was cancelled on YouTube, how to make a mean banana bread, and who Tiger King was. But our heightened online awareness also brought more important issues into the forefront too, such as the 2020 BLM movement sparked by the murder of George Floyd through police brutality. A serious and important issue, which people totally distorted into being just another Simpsons prediction using a particular image, thus warping this just for fun cartoon theory into something a whole lot more sinister and disrespectful to the real victims. Basically, a full-on lie went viral. It was not drawn, endorsed by, or thought of by anyone working on The Simpsons. But to this day, it is still used as an example of a Simpsons prediction by so many people. In reality, it was drawn by a guy on Instagram who ordinarily Simpsonizes celebrities. He decided to draw this 5 days after George Floyd's death to commemorate him. And without this context, it was shared across the world as proof that The Simpsons had predicted the future. Or maybe, even just as awful, this was The Simpsons' reaction to it. So it's not only spreading misinformation, but completely disrespecting and capitalizing off of the BLM cause and this horrible event. But you know what? This wasn't the only reaction from our lockdown in terms of Simpsons predictions. Something bigger arrived. A whole new social media platform that seemingly exploded overnight. TikTok. TikTok is a social media app that had people doing the same dance routines, telling the same jokes, and acting out the exact same movie lines over and over again. Basically, it was an app that thrived on repetition, and whereas on other platforms you'd be totally criticized for replicating content, on TikTok you thrived. By capitalizing on a trending song, joke, or film line, you got exposure, and then likes, and then followers, and with the monetization of the platform, that then meant money. But what's that got to do with The Simpsons? Well, in my opinion, the same repetition method applied to Simpsons prediction videos. If you see here, we get pretty much the exact same content but re-edited to try and reach a new audience. Why? Because they get good views. Good views, good money. And because of the nature of TikTok, a doom scrolling app, there could be a chance that someone could see your video without the video you copied, therefore making you seem like an original creator, i.e. a worthwhile creator to follow without actually having to put any real effort into any original content. The result, hundreds of thousands of prediction videos, pretty much all circulating the same bullshit, fake Simpsons predictions. But what's the point in me just telling you when I can show you? Like, take this TikTok video right here that has over 40 million views claiming that The Simpsons predicted this Balenciaga catwalk. Okay, so in case anyone didn't know, this was a Simpsons short made in collaboration with Balenciaga to promote their Spring 2022 collection, and it was their idea to have The Simpsons wear and mirror the clothes from the real catwalk. It premiered at Balenciaga's Red Carpet Collection event during Paris Fashion Week on October 2nd, 2021. But these content farm TikTok accounts are just jamming clips together to try and make it look as if they're uncovering some brand new prediction. It's basically the same technique that we saw with the Trump escalator shtick that we spoke about earlier on. For example, Anna Wintour wasn't even at this event. The TikTok creator had simply used this famous clip of her sitting next to the Queen to work it into their own narrative of The Simpsons predicting the future, which then warps into them predicting the Queen's death, which again, they didn't. And if you don't believe me, look, here's the original clip from the episode side by side with this doctored image, and I don't see any weird cryptic note or date here. This video then goes on to claim that The Simpsons also predicted Kobe Bryant's death by mixing together an old scene of a helicopter crash and a season 23 episode where he guest starred in it, and it's actually really disgusting. This bullshit video then makes the claim that they predicted this moment with Trump and the King of Saudi touching an oar back in 2002. But this was from a short posted on Facebook from May 26, 2017, and the real event happened on May 22nd. The Simpsons again just parodied it. They parodied real life. Again, this video has over 40 million views, and there are hundreds of these kinds of videos, each with millions and millions of views. It's absolutely crazy. And unfortunately, this kind of content has only spread like the plague thanks to AI.
So in Season 9, episode title, Treehouse of Horror 8, a strange virus breaks out that turns most people into the living dead.
Right now, in 2024, AI is so accessible. You can ask it to write you holiday itineraries, it can create songs, but it can also be used for really awful reasons, suggesting 40,000 brand new chemical weapons in the space of 6 hours. And that was in 2022. This technology is only getting more and more sophisticated, and it's absolutely terrifying. But to stay in my lane and talk about content creation, you can basically ask AI to write you a lame-ass script, replicate a celebrity's voice, and use AI video editing software to make a TikTok in just a matter of minutes.
In an episode back to 1998, the show hinted at an economic crisis, a nuclear war.
No research done, no real effort to produce something meaningful or interesting, and overall, just dog shit. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of these accounts, and the scary thing is that so many people believe in their videos. Just look at their comments. I genuinely hate that they're being sucked in by this kind of garbage and are blindly believing it, but maybe that's just up to them for not doing their research. But with the accessibility and freedom of AI, any average Joe, or AI Joe specifically, can make any stupid statement seem like a fact. And unfortunately, this plague has now spread to YouTube. Within the last few months specifically, I have noticed more and more channels cropping up with AI-generated thumbnails, which are absolutely awful, by the way. They're often accompanied with AI-generated content narrated by an AI-generated voice. And Seeing this kind of shit on YouTube is really sad to see, because seeing as TikTok may well be banned in the US, all this kind of garbage is gonna be tipped into YouTube, where these lazy content farms could actually be getting a lot of money from ad revenue. And more money means more trash, and therefore clogging up all of our recommendations. What's worse is that the big guys seem to be doing it too. Just recently, Screen Rant, a YouTube channel with over 8 million subscribers, may have just used AI to make one of their Simpsons videos. I say this because they actually used clips from one of my videos to create it. Overall, it was just so disjointed and made no sense whatsoever. It had to be AI. And when I called them out on Twitter, they quickly deleted the video. Like I mentioned at the beginning, Simpsons Predictions started out innocently enough. They were never supposed to be taken seriously, but then they attracted opportunists who just wanted to go viral, and I'm including some mainstream media outlets in there too. They wanted the views, the clicks, the money, but then they just started outright lying, or spreading regurgitated lies. I can 100% say that those people who create and share these kinds of videos and predictions aren't actually fans of the show. They're fans of attention and money. So what would be my advice to basically diminish this kind of AI abuse? Well, obviously watch what you want, but by engaging with this kind of content, it gives these content farms the pedestal they need to keep charging out this kind of crap, which is absolutely mind-rotting. These creators, and I'm using that term very loosely, are basically making a mockery of real artists, genuine creators, and basically all of our intelligence. Now, I definitely didn't expect to go down such a dark rabbit hole of TikToks and weird, trippy AI imagery to create this video, and I've definitely lost some brain cells in the process. So I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, it will be worth it. Also, thank you so much to my patrons for supporting me in creating these videos. Your help really does mean the world, and the link to my Patreon is in the description below if you'd also like to support these videos. Thanks so much for watching, thanks for supporting, and I'll see you in the next one.